Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to today's session. I believe you're excited about today. I believe you're eager to learn from our panelists. You're eager to understand what it is we're all here about today. But just before we go on, I would like to say, hi, you're welcome, good morning, and whatever part of the world it is you are in, we're excited to have you here today. My name is Ewadola, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. But just before we go on, I would like to know if we have people here. So we have a function here that is a chat. Do you mind just saying a hi or putting in an emoji or anything it is you want right there, just so we know that you're here and you're engaging and you're connecting with us? So you just pop it in there. And then just before we start off as well, I would like you all to just put on your status, your social media pages, where your WhatsApp status that the session has begun. Please put in a message just so everybody, your colleagues, your friends, your business partners, your neighbors know that we're live and they can come in and learn from today's session. Awesome. So while we're here, remember we have a chat box. Put in whatever question it is you have, whatever it is you would like us to engage with you on. If, for instance, you're getting or you're really aligning with whatever it is that's being said, you can re-emphasize it on the chat there. Ask your questions. We're here. It's a safe space for today. There's no silly questions. We're here to ensure that you leave here equipped. You leave here knowing what it is that you can apply to either your job, either your business as an individual, or even your career or your SMEs, how it is you can scale and ensure you're prepped for success. So let's get it on. You're welcome to the February edition of the Business Day and netplus.com SME Digital Transformation webinar series. And today we're talking about digital transformation. If you look back in the last 2 years, everything has gone to the web. You have more Zoom sessions, webinars. Internet has helped scale organizations. Zoom made a lot of money during the pandemic. Organizations have scaled and have so many customers access right now. And this is all thanks to digital transformation. And there is nothing as great as evolving with the dynamics as it happens. Today, we're going to be learning how can we change? How can we adapt to the constantly changing digital space? How is it that you can apply whatever tools, resources that you have into ensuring that your business stays relevant? The aim of it all is that you're able to adapt, you're able to innovate, you're able to ensure that you're on top of whatever initiative, activity that you perform within your job. So we're going to be having an interesting lineup of speakers, and they're going to be helping you understand digital transformation, its implications, how you can maximize it to your advantage. Like everybody knows, revenue is key. You're here to increase the revenue of your business. But then we're asking that just sit back, relax, listen, ask questions. But then at the end of this all, we want you to walk away knowing how it is you can apply all that is being shared today to your job. Many of us have had to change our perspective on how it is we did business from 10 years ago to how it is now. The way we did business in 2001 and then the way we're doing business now has changed. So we want you to have an open mind and then be able to take as much knowledge as that will be shared today at today's session. I hope you learn from our esteemed speakers because they're extremely happy and excited to share from their wealth of experience today. So let's dive in. But before we go on, I would like to briefly share on the platform that has made this access available to us today. The SME Digital Transformation Webinar Series is an initiative by the Business Day and netplus.com and is aimed at creating an avenue for SMEs who are looking to get expert information and knowledge on a large range of topics. It's offering a form of connection, so you're able to connect with industry experts, you're able to connect with individuals who have gone ahead of you and have done business and have the expertise and are able to guide you on how it is you can facilitate as well as have access to the market, finances, skills, knowledge that you need to scale your business. Business Day is West Africa's leading provider of business intelligence and information on diversified media, including online, mobile, and print. And then the newspaper is based in Lagos and Accra and has syndications with the Financial Times, The Economist, and Harvard Business Review. While netplus.com, on the other hand, is a leading technology and digital payment company with a mission to provide practical and innovative merchant service and digital payment solutions to businesses in Nigeria and emerging markets globally. they brought this amazing session to us here today, and there's nothing like telling everybody who is within your circle to please connect so they can also learn from the wide array of speakers that we have here today. So we're going to deep dive into what it is we're here about. And remember, we're talking about digital transformation, and we want you to walk out of this session knowing how it is you can apply all that you're learning on the go, either in your sector or in your business or whatever it is that you would want to apply it on. So I'm asking, please follow netplus.com and Business Day on Instagram, and ensure that you're reposting messages right now, just so people within your circle know that this is on and that they can connect as soon as possible. So please, it will take you less than a minute. Go to netplus.com, follow them, go to Business Day entry, follow them, and repost today's session so as many people within your contacts can join today's session. Thank you so much for that. I would move on to introduce our speakers, and then while I introduce them, they would also unmute for a minute to just say a bit more about what it is they're about and what it is they'll be sharing about today. First one, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tonu Olani. He has over 10 years of experience in human capital development, and he's helped individuals in the learning and development space, the talent acceleration space, the talent management and talent placement stage, as well as helped improve processes for organization. He's keen on project management. He has knowledge in that, and has also shown over time that he has passion for developing young talents across Africa. His passion has led him to speaking to over 30 Nigerian universities, and is constantly looking for ways to add value, impact, and help organizations scale. So you're welcome here, Mr. Tolu. Would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you so much, Ewadola, and such an amazing time and such an amazing opportunity to be here. Having this conversation. Thank you so much, Business Day and Net Plus for this time. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tonu Olani. I lead the team at Wording HCD, and what we do at Wording HCD. So the HCD at Wording is Human Capital Development, and it's a 360 Human Capital Solution company. And what we do basically is to help businesses understand and work on their human capital, right? Understanding that founders are busy looking out for money. So we thought to then help them focus on building their people so that they don't burn out looking for money and managing people. We all will agree with me that managing people is so tough, right? So we built a system to be able to help businesses run their HR processes seamlessly, easy, and extremely affordable, right? Yeah. And on the other side, we're also like working on the 360 human capital solution, such that we have like a rolling pipeline of human capital that feeds into the startup and make operations a lot seamless for them. And like the biggest goal for us, like the biggest vision for us, is to see businesses of Black origin live over 7 generations, right? We want an end to come to an era of business owners dying, and small business owner dying and the business die at the same time, right? We want to help people, SMEs, put structures around their businesses, and that's what we do at Wording HCD. Such an honor to be here. I'm excited having conversations around human capital here today and people development, business strategy. I look forward to an interesting conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. We're also looking forward to engaging with you and learning how it is we can help businesses stay over 7 generations. That's like a very key thing that I know most Nigerian businesses do not try to plan around. So next one, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Ized Wanikehi. I'm sorry if I wanted your name. My apologies. She has spent the last 7 years changing the digital marketing landscape of Africa through her work, and has adopted digital technology for advocacy, helping startups promote their businesses. She enjoys taking on tasks and then growing businesses within Africa. She has done a lot of day-to-day products that we love within Nigeria and Africa at home, and is driven by her desire to help bridge the digital gender divide in Africa. With this community and collaboration, we're excited to have her here today. We're excited to have her help us understand how it is we can adopt technology and how it is we can promote businesses within Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Ized, please, would you like to introduce yourself as well? It's great to have you here.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, the lighting in my place is not so good. That's why I turned off my camera for a bit. Hi, everyone. My name is Izedwanike. Yes, you murdered my name when you announced it, but it's absolutely fine. Izedwanike. I am the founder of ZI Africa. What we do is we are a startup agency. So previously, we had I've been running agencies, marketing agencies, and being CMO for people. But I noticed that there was a huge number of great ideas or great startups with good innovations that were dying out, and not because they didn't have the great idea or they were not executing greatly, but because they couldn't gain like very strong market entry. So whilst they had good innovations and good products, they didn't have a good marketing reach out or a good marketing performance, basically. And so what we decided to do as a business was to start an agency that was focused on startups, where we're not doing a one size fits all for every startup. Every startup is unique. You see, what most marketing agencies do is they use the same playbook for all businesses, whether it's a health tech business or it's an agri-tech business. So what we do at ZI is we are a startup agency that is focused fully on marketing just startups, whatever stage they are at, whether bootstrapping or they've raised a seed round or pre-seed or they've done Series A, and we help them to achieve their marketing objectives by creating a unique strategy for every startup. So we create unique strategies for every startup. We've been able to semi-automate the process, meaning that so that we can work with a lot more startups as opposed to working with very few startups. So we've semi-automated some of the processes and made it easier for more startups to work with us. So that's what we do at ZI. My conversation here is to talk about how you can use digital transformation to your advantage and build your brand in the marketplace, and then reach your marketing objectives and get the numbers that you need for your business. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's great to have you here as well. Next on, I'd like to introduce Mr. Emeka Onuelu. He's the group head, corporate and SME lending at Creditville, and he has a vast cross-section knowledge and experience in payroll, consumer lending, SME and corporate business analysis and appraisal, business and product development, collections, recoverables, and recoveries, training and recruitment, and he's a change agent. It's great to have him here today, and we're looking forward to your perspective on how it is people can get credit. Mr. Emeka, over to you to introduce yourself. You're muted, sir. You're still muted if you're speaking, sorry.
Good morning, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Okay,
Hi,
good morning. Like I mentioned earlier, I said for a second, I didn't know that was my profile you were reading. I'm happy to be here this morning. I'm honored to represent my company, Creditville, on this platform. And I'm looking forward to have an exciting and productive conversation around credit facilities and other discussions we're going to have. So at Creditville, we are a financial boutique, and what we do, we major in lease, loans, and investments. I think I can beat my chest today that if you have any investment option or you're looking for a platform where you can invest your hard-earned money, and you're looking for a place where the money will be safe and it's assured that it will generate expected high return on investment, Creditville is the best place to invest your fund. And if you're into business and you want to grow your business or expand your business in whatever form, maybe you're a corporate SME, corporate business, or SME, medium MSMEs, and even the guys within the bottom of the pyramid. We have diverse loan products that we can offer you to grow your business. We also own several subsidiaries, such as a company named Redwood into asset management, Dawana Bureau de Change, Creditville Finance, which is into lease, and the Creditville loans. So we have been around for a while, and we are leveraging on several platforms to provide financial services to all cadres of and categories of customers every day and we are taking the business forward to ensure that we provide quality services to every customer that require our services. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're excited to learn from you today. Next on, we have Mr. Precious Mogoli. He's the director of SME Clinic by TechPoint, a TechPoint Africa initiative geared towards helping businesses scale using innovative technology. He leads the company's sub-editing team as well, and that defines all they're about is redefining the content going out on TechPoint Africa. You're welcome, and we're excited to have you here today. Please, could you also share more about the organization as well?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. Let me start off by saying I'm looking forward to learning from every other facilitator here. Well, as you rightly said, I'm the director of SME Clinic by TechPoint, which is a TechPoint Africa initiative. The objective is to help small businesses scale using innovative technologies. For those who don't know, TechPoint Africa is a digital media company that amplifies the best innovations out of Africa through its publications, data, and events, one of which is SME Clinic. The goal of SME Clinic is to help small businesses scale their ventures with the power of technology by bringing in seasoned business people who have walked the path that these SMEs are just beginning to tread, such that they bring valuable insights and education from their time trying to scale their own businesses. Between 2018 and 2021, we've had 4 major SME Clinic sessions with 3 in-depth sessions in Q2, Q3, and Q4 2019. And across those sessions, we've been able to equip over 8,000 SMEs. My assignment here today will be to speak about what SMEs need to do and what they need to avoid if they are to build thriving and long-lasting businesses. Hopefully, in the future, we can say, okay, SME Clinic contributed to a couple of businesses that saw the 7th and 8th generations, as was it Tonu Olani that said at the beginning? Yeah, which is why I said I'm looking forward to learning from everyone. I'll probably steal 2 or 3 things from you that will inculcate into our future clinics. Thank you once again.
Thank you. We're excited to also learn from you as well. Next on, I'd like to introduce Irayo Oladujoye. She's an experienced professional with a demonstrated history of working in the program development industry. She's currently the head startup at Lagos Employment Trust Fund and is responsible for developing and implementing government-led programs aimed at creating an enabling environment for tech startups and innovation-driven entrepreneurs to thrive in Lagos State. And we're going to also hear from her, and we're excited to learn from her as well. She'll talk a bit about what it is she does and how she's here to support us today.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Abadola. Like Precious said, I'm really actually looking forward to learning from everybody today. I'm privileged to be on one of the panelists for this. Thank you to Business Day and NetPlus. So as you mentioned, I do work for Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was created by law in 2016 to address unemployment in Lagos State. Can you hear me? So it says, Victor, can you hear? Okay, sorry, that was from here. So to address unemployment, and what our vision is creating an enabling environment for MSMEs in Lagos State, for Lagos residents to thrive, to create jobs and wealth in the economy of Lagos State. As you spoke to it, we have quite a few interventions at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, but I'm sitting here as the head of the startup, which is Lagos Innovate, and we are focused primarily on the tech ecosystem of Lagos at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and in the state. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the session today.
Thank you so much. So we're excited to learn from everyone in here today. And I'd like to quickly plug in again that if you're not following netplus.com, please can you do so now, as well as Business Day NG. Please share the flyers for today's session just so that everyone within your circle knows this is happening and they can connect and learn from our seasoned experts that are in here. It will be selfish for you to just learn alone and not want people in your network to know this awesome series is on. So please, please, please share, repost, and ask people to join this session. So now we're going on to the meat of today's session. I'm excited about all it is we're going to be learning on. And my first question today is going to go to Mr. Precious. And I want to know, based on your experience of helping small businesses scale using innovative technologies, what are the basic challenges SMEs face in this market? And how do you think they can resolve this?
Okay, thank you very much. $1, right? Did I get that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the very first thing I would say, maybe I should screen, is access to finance. I get a number of mails and people just want money. I need money, I need money, I need money. And that's top of the list for 7 or 8 out of 10 SMEs today. Interestingly, just before, while I was waiting for this meeting to start, I stumbled upon a Business Day tweet linking to a publication with they have a list of banks that offer SMEs loans without collateral. So yes, one of the basic challenges is access to finance. Another thing is the absence of an enabling environment for sustained growth. Emphasis on the word sustained. It's one thing to have a couple of years of growth, and then because the requisite changes in the system are not in place, the growth that you've experienced in 1 or 2 years can be wiped out by one policy or one regulation. So the absence of an enabling environment, and by that I mean infrastructure and regulations or policies, is another challenge. And then if we want to narrow things down to the basics, we have a lack of entrepreneurship education in our high institutions. So you will realize that a lot of people who are running businesses today, SMEs, do not know the basics. They might have splendid ideas, they might be passionate, they might even have the finance, but where the knowledge of the basics required to run a business is missing, then it becomes a major problem going forward. So I'll just leave it at those 3 for now. Access to finance is a major issue, an enabling environment for sustained growth, and by that I mean infrastructure and policies and regulations, and then the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of running a business are not taught in our institutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Access to finance and access to infrastructure, those are very key things. And that will lead me on to asking Mr. Emeka. He has a vast experience in SME and corporate business, how it is they can have credit. So I'm asking, what are some financial mistakes you've seen SMEs make in the past? As regards finding credits or the likes, and how can they avoid that moving forward? How can they get access to the right credit? How can they know what is right for them per time? If I'm an SME and I just have 100 clients per now, what kind of credit do you think would work for me? And how can I avoid mistakes or errors?
Okay, so thank you very much for that. That's quite a few questions in one. So first of all, I will say that, let me take off from the mistake and what Precious said. So what I see from my experience of analyzing businesses over 13 years is, one, I would say businesses do not keep financial records of all the activities of that business. So it makes it difficult for them to get credit from the financial institutions. So we have situations where people just transact, do business because they are the alpha and omega of their business. There is no record, as little as not even passing the financials of the business through a financial statement. So if you pass your funding through a financial statement, the banks or the financial institutions that you want to access credit from will be able to see all your activities to determine your capacity. That's one. I also see the mistake of where businesses misunderstand revenue for profits. And the critical information or feedback that I would like to give is they need to also understand what revenue is. Revenue is just a simple definition that it can be, is the sales and income generated from all the business activities. You can say in a month or for a year under review. Why the profit is the amount of income generated after the deduction of all line item, all expenses. So this is where they mix it up sometimes. Because you generate enough sales does not mean that you are making an income. What I also see, the mistakes I also see is they spend unnecessarily. Especially spending on activities that don't generate income for the business. They can spend on luxury items. And what they really need to do is to do a proper budget to handle their expense. And they need to spend the income or the business expense on the activities that to retain their capital so that their business can be sustainable and have continuity. And there's this syndrome that I see in the course of analyzing business is that people have short-term expectation. The syndrome of overnight, quick, high financial returns, and we experienced it some few years ago. Some business people still think that they are running MMM situations where you just invest money, get your return back quickly. Some business models are not like that. Sometimes you might need to wait. Sometimes you might need to invest. So we see that they don't do proper and detailed research before venturing into those businesses. And also they don't even understand the life cycle of that business over time. Some business, like I said, initially you have to wait for business. Maybe it might take 6 months for profits to start coming up. Businesses, again, I would say that the business owners don't have the habit of paying themselves. Why? Because when you pay yourself an income and abilities for you to be able to separate your finances from business finance from your personal finance. So if you pay yourself as a business person or as a business owner, you will be able to stick to that income and not spend from your capital. So don't see some of them see their business as ATM machine. They just go into their accounts and cater for their private needs and entertainment. Why not knowing that they are spending from part of their capital? When you do that, you're depicting your capital and your capacity will reduce. And that's what we see every day. So they need to be able to separate their income from their private expense. And they need to be disciplined to be able to stick to that income that they pay themselves. So there must be a reason for you to do any form of investment, and those investments must be needed to grow the business. Those are the simple mistakes that I see. If you look at the reason how they can access credit, and they're just simple, you need to have a business plan. You need to, from that your business plan, you need to have a financial projection, and you need to know the type of funding that you need to request for. Are you requesting for debt or equity funding? Which one suits your business at a particular point in time? Then you need to have for you to assess business loans, is also to secure debts. And you should also know that these debts should be paid back with an interest. That you need to accommodate before you venture into these items. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very knowledge-filled. I have a question for Ized, and it's how can SMEs automate their processes to boost their businesses? How do you think they can do that?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Again, apologies, I can't put on my camera right now, but I will answer those questions. So one of the key things we find is, especially for businesses that are like one-man businesses or people who are just starting out in whatever it is that they're doing, say, for example, so I will just use a random example from my head about a caterer who cooks and sells food and is using social media to drive, or digital media to drive her growth or drive her marketing to get more orders. But because this same person is focused on cooking this food, she's not able, or he or she's not able to be on social media as often as they need to drive sales. So some of the ways they can automate their social media or to automate their processes to boost their businesses. So I'm focused with this question, I'm focused on digital marketing or social media marketing to boost businesses, right? So again, what I typically would advise is plan a variety of messages for each news feed, whether it's for Twitter or for whatever platform. Plan a variety of messages. Take time and plan a variety of messages. And then there are tools to automate this process. So for example, somebody reaches out to you in your DMs and says to you, I want to buy a pot of jollof rice, or I want to buy a 10-liter bowl of jollof rice. There are already tools that you can automate with this variety of messages to respond to those questions without you necessarily needing to be there, where you can automatically answer to say, oh, a bowl of jollof rice will cost this, and here's how to pay, and this is our processes in getting your order done. Or otherwise, you can, when somebody asks a question in the DMs, you can use an automation tool to respond to say, here's our menu to order, this is what to do. So I'm picking a particular example. This can be done across multiple businesses. So some of those kind of tools are Zendesk. For example, you can use Zendesk to automate your DMs to answer questions. There are also IFTTT, if this, then that. That's IFTTT messages where you can automate social media conversations. Say you are not on Twitter that day, but people are tweeting about, I just got engaged, or it's my birthday tomorrow. You can use an automation tool like IFTTT to say, anytime somebody says, if this, then that, and if somebody mentions getting married, respond with this answer. So if someone says, tomorrow is my birthday, automatically your handle will respond with something that says, we can cook your food for you. Because tomorrow is your birthday, we can cater to your event for you at 50% discount. Now, your business is still running even whilst you're in the kitchen because you've automated or you scheduled these messages. I would also typically advise take time out on like a weekend or when you don't have a lot of orders or when you're not cooking, on the days that you are not actually doing your production work, to create messages that you can schedule. So there's a lot of scheduling tools. You have tools like Buffer, Hootsuite, where you can schedule your messages for like a week or 2 weeks. So you create the content, you schedule your messages online, and then even whilst you're not on social media, these posts are coming up on social media. So you can automate that process. You can automate your customer care processes with the automation tools that allows you to automate your customer care process, whether it's somebody that comes into your DMs with a complaint or somebody that comes to your website or your Facebook Messenger with some sort of complaint. You can then answer, what is this, a complaint, or do you want to make an order or something? So you can create a variety of messages that allow you to automate a process that doesn't keep you on social media, but yet allows you to still get the value that you will get from social media. Now, it is important to note that the best marketing always has a human touch. So don't over automate the process. Find time every once in a while to get online and answer these people as much as you can. But beyond that, if you are busy and you still want to get the best out of social media marketing or out of digital marketing, there are a lot of tools, numerous, for all social media platforms. Right now, I'm finding out that there are single tools that allow you to schedule across all social media platforms. And so if you want to use a single tool, if you want to use multiple tools, there are tools that help you to do designs. There's Canva, there's so we have also at ZI, we've also come up with our own automation tools that allow you to schedule posts, that allow you to create quick designs, so that in case you don't want to pay us for marketing just yet, but you need to create a quick design that you can put on your social media platform or your stories platform that helps you drive sales. We've already created those templates that is just like literally plug and play onto your social media platform. So there are tools like that. So I always advise SMEs, take advantage of those tools. Do not leave out social media marketing because your target audience are there and they're listening to you speak, and it will definitely help you grow your market. So that's a way SME can automate the process to drive growth for their business.
Thank you so much. Now we've learned how it is we can automate processes to boost sales and revenue. I have a question on how can SMEs position themselves effectively to profit from various government initiatives geared towards them. And I'm passing this on to Iriayomide to help us understand this.
So thank you very much. So I can stand on what Precious and Emeka had touched on. So if you want to position a business to actually receive from the government, a lot of people want to be spoon-fed by the government, but what the government actually is just giving infrastructure of what you need. Now, if you were coming to LSTF, for instance, like I think both of you actually mentioned the access to finance. LSTF has access to finance, but if you don't have if you don't have things in place, you can't actually access that finance. And the finance, like when I say access to finance for SMEs, we're giving you a very discounted interest rate of 9%. I think the maximum is 10% for just one of our interventions. But there's single digit, interest rates. But as a business, if you don't have your house in order, in terms of you don't understand the government relations in line with what your business is. So simple things like, okay, are you a registered business? Do you have a business account? I think Emeka was talking about people spending their revenue and their capital as opposed to just the profits. Do you understand credit? A lot of people don't understand credit. And I think Precious had spoken to obviously education, and people have been educated enough to understand what is required. If the last speaker, I don't want to pronounce the name or pronounce it wrong. You spoke to obviously being aware, like we're in a digital age now. So if COVID didn't teach you that, a lot of businesses that thrived during the COVID or the lockdown were people that had visibility digitally. So you need to already be thinking that I need to be visible digitally, or at least I need to be present. So there's no, like, everybody on here is on social media, their businesses as well as themselves as individuals. So you need to be, put your ear down, be in, you have groups or communities that if you're looking for a grant, you can join a community that will be speaking about grants. So when you want to know what's going on with the government, you need to you understand government relations, know what is required of you as a business in what you're doing, and be in good standing. Because if you came to me and you're not paying your taxes, you cannot benefit from me because I'm using taxpayers' money. At least partial part of our fund is taxpayers. Yes, we partner with private entities, speaking to collaboration. So people need to, you need to be aware of this, be visible, be in good standing business-wise, be knowledgeable, interact with people, collaborate with people. Because if I'm talking to Precious can teach me stuff about tech point that I might not be aware of. I mean, we don't know everything, but we're at an age where knowledge is at your fingertips. So you need to be aware of this and make sure that you're in the midst of what is going on. Otherwise you wouldn't know. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. And that leads me on to my next question. You mentioned that COVID has changed the business space, how it is people operate in their businesses. And I'm looking to know how it is SMEs can leverage technology, and how it is that SMEs who within the space can use technology as well as remote work, hybrid work, or various tools in assuring or getting effectiveness or ensuring that their teams are primed for success. And my question goes to Tolu Olani, and it is that for SMEs who want to adopt the styles, various styles of working based on remote, on how technology has evolved, whether we have remote work, we have hybrid work, we have individuals where they still come to the office from time to time. How can businesses ensure effectiveness? How can they continue to be prepped for success in this ever-changing world?
Okay, thanks a whole lot, Ewa. Thanks for that question. I was already not looking forward to speaking again, as I've started to learn from everybody who have spoken. So it's been really, really interesting from what from Precious to EZ. Particularly, let me start from where EZ stopped, and mentioning what she said again, that, hey, you need not and you should not over-automate these things, right? You still need a human touch. Now, one thing I have said to people, particularly in Nigeria and African businesses, is yes, we have not totally accepted technology as it is, right? We have not totally adopted it, right? So a large portion of your markets still wants the human touch, still want human feel to your business. So first, for productivity, as we then begin to move, understanding that, hey, I cannot automate all of the process. I should not automate all the process. There should be human touch, right? So, in the Western world, people feel comfortable talking to robots. They will talk to robots, right? And they won't mind, right? People will leave voicemail on your pager and you can go back to it. But in Nigeria, no. Once the phone rings and it's about to go into voicemail, we end the call straight. no, how would I be talking to machine, right? No, we don't want that in Nigeria. So nobody wants to go that route. Yeah, so it means that human touch. And that's why call center is booming in Nigeria. And that's why in fact, call center is booming in third world countries, because people still want to talk to somebody, right? People want to, people still want to have their issues resolved by somebody. Let me talk to somebody. In fact, they will deduct 20 naira from somebody's account. He would take a bus of 200 naira to go to the bank just to talk to somebody to say they deducted my money, right? So we can automate all of the processes, right? So now, just as EZ had said, so I'm also hopeful that I've not murdered the name more than once. You pardon me, because I have customers for you already after this call. I'm sure once money is involved, you will not. Thank you, my sister. All right, so
you can call me anything now. EZ.
Thank you.
AZ, I will take it. It's fine. As long as you have sponsor me.
No, don't worry, I'm bringing customer. Right. Okay. So now, that we've created a baseline that we cannot automate everything. Now, it now brings us to that point of for productivity. How do we then strike a balance across all of this to ensure that we're able to serve the people at the best and we're able to get the best feedback? Now, a lot of time, what we lose when we automate all of the process is we lose out quality feedback that then support our business to grow, right? Now, so take, for example, you buy tools just like I would buy tools, and I have like two businesses. I would buy tools from EZ, and it's robot and it's virtual customer service assistant that responds to people. And because we feel that we have set up that process, we don't check up and we don't take feedback over time. Quality drops, right? So now ensuring that you hire someone who is smart enough and who is hands-on, right? And a solid support system or an evaluation system for that person will then make your marketing and your customer service work well. So that's even in terms of customer service, marketing, and sales, right? So we know that every 2 hours, you as the responsible for this role must go check the Instagram accounts and respond, right? Put the human touch to this response. Now, who checks on this person to be sure this person is doing it, right? So if it's a very small business, it's just you, you could find the best way to delegate this. And I said to people, see, as your business grows, find the best way to also ensure human capital grows around your business so you don't burn out. Sometimes if you can afford to spare something from the little profit you make, that probably will be the funding you need for your business to grow to the next level. You probably don't need to start raising funds so you can pay salaries, right? So we have people who want to work, who want to intern and build skill and would earn a little working as customer service for you. So while you're in the kitchen and you're having overflow of messages, there's someone who is responding to them. Now, all you then need to do is to ensure this person is responding to them well. It's not being rude. It's not, hitting grammatical blunders and all of that. That's all you just need to do. And that's how you begin to then build your process and you begin a lot more flexible and successful. Now, so let's move to accounting. Just as Emeka had said, there are also like a whole lot of, I said this to people as we try to walk them through their business structure. I always insist. So when I started my business, I got paid for the longest of period. I probably didn't earn more than 20,000 in my company. And there were people in the company who earned more than me. But the business could not afford to pay me, but I have to pay myself from that company just so that, in fact, and I'm not the one that's even paying it. It's like, who's responsible that pays it? So I do not even have access to the company's finance, right? Other than the money that I have collected. Now, as we then do all of that, having like responsible around this, people to say, oh, okay, you're doing this, we've set up all the parameters, all the system around, all automated the process on how to pay, right? How do we then add that human touch to ensure that the same person who has set up the system is not going back to host the system and say, before I die, let me collect something first from my money. So the business will not, I mean, do you understand, right? So that's valid. Also, I mean, largely for success, and like I've said to a lot of people, there's one thing we cannot automate, and which is very, very essential, particularly for this, for the new era of work, which is governance structure. So governance structure is not even outside, right? I mean, so let me not call it governance structure. Let me call it policy and processes, right? Your business has to also put policies and structures in place, even while we are working remotely. Now, what are the do's and don'ts as you work remotely? You must have like a policy document, a handbook that everybody work with. So we all know what we should be doing when we're working remotely, right? Now, a lot of businesses just leave it to word of mouth and say, well, you're working remotely, you should know. No, you cannot assume that you should know, right? When there are no consequences, people just do things the way they want to do it. So we need to ensure that there are documentations around how this should be done. Yes, we've gotten cases of people who turn on their Slack and play music in the background just so that the Slack keep running and it shows that you are active. Oh yes, I mean, we have all of that. But then how do you, so if you know that, in fact, so maybe hopefully in subsequent sessions, I'll tell you the things that employees do, this remote work. So sometimes I say, are we sure we're even ready for this remote work in this part of the world? Because legit, people ghost on, in fact, they ghost. And that's what a lot of employers will say, don't worry, I'm not doing remote. Come fully into the office. No matter what it is, come fully into the office because remote is supposed to be productive, right? Because you're spending the productive hours that they're supposed to use on the road. You're using it to work already. But I mean, I know a lot of people on this call would agree that no, I mean, the only remote that is effective these days is remote control for the TV. Remote is not effective. Oh yeah, so now to ensure that remote working is now very effective, we now need to put policies on the ground, right? I have a policy document, a handbook that states the minimum requirements from employees, that states basic outlines. Apart from your job description, these are the ways to engage as you move in the days ahead, as you work remote, right? Some people have also tried to balance it to say, okay, fine, we're going remote, but then we're doing hybrid. So 3 days in the office, 2 days outside the office. So that way you're also able to balance it, right? And that's what I've said to businesses. And like I also mentioned, there is no one model fits all, right? So this is also one thing we need to also we need to begin to understand. Now, the fact that company A does full remote does not mean the kind of human capital in your own organization can also jump on full remote. So you need to understand your business. You need to understand what productivity means for your business. You need to define success for your business and then say, oh, okay, fine. Yes, new world of work is also you coming to the office but having better tools to work, not just you working remote, right? New world of work is you, instead of coming for meetings in the boardroom, you can be in the same office and you're having Zoom calls, right? Just to ensure that, hey, we're not moving around. So define what success means for your business and find like the best human capital approach that works around it. Ensure that we don't lose human touch and ensure that policies and processes are being put in place and are being followed, right, to the latter. So even if it's just you, your business, you're following those policies and processes to the latter, because when you start to bring people on board, it's a lot easier for you to communicate to them and to, get them into the organizational culture. I mean, I hope this answers your question.
Yes, it does. And I have a follow-up question to that. You spoke about, how people have different work cultures, work ethics. For me, I know it's Gen Z, they're moving. Retention rate is very low. They are looking for the next available gig that they can move to. So how do you think businesses can develop a work environment that retains top talent? You cannot manage Gen Z the same way you are managing millennials or baby boomers and the likes. We all have different work ethics. Some of us love remote work. I love remote work. I'm delivering but then it would not work for some people. But then how do you retain talent? So people will be like, it's either remote work or nothing. I don't think I can take your offer. I don't think I can continue to work here. So how do organizations or businesses that develop a work environment that helps them retain the top talent? Because we don't want regular talent. We want talent that will deliver on the job, not play music at the background and then watching Netflix on the next TV. How do we get the top talent to stay?
Okay, so this is the honest truth, and something I've shared with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've said that thing. The very first thing is to, as you build your business and as your business begins to evolve, right? Define an organizational culture for your organization. So some people have designed a culture and a system that Gen Zs would never fit into. Like the culture and the system, they would never fit into it. Yeah. So so I've had colleagues where that would want to be micromanaged. A lot of Gen Zs don't like to micromanage because they feel that, but some people would want to be micromanaged. Now, it was very tough for me trying to micromanage this person because I also want to be like a Gen Z. Like, I want to be fast-paced. I want to move really fast. Right? So we had like a bit of conflict. Funny enough, the person had to leave. Now, so first, as you then build a culture where you know that, these guys, we'll be having a lot of Gen Zs here. Find a culture that would accommodate them. Maybe the first thing you then need to do is not invest heavily in renting an office space and furnishing it. And you probably want to work with Uriah or talk to Uriah and say, workspace voucher for our businesses. You probably just want to do that, or find a workspace where you can work from, right? So when they come into the office, they come. When they don't come, they don't come. See, Gen Zs that like to work remote, sometimes unprovoked, will just carry their bag and say, I'm going to our office workstation to work. I've seen them here. I just come to the office, I'm like, you are here. We're like, oh yeah. So I'm like, and I tell them, see, you remember that you are here. We are paying for this space that you are here today. If you're not productive, you will pay me back. They're like, nah, don't worry. I got you. Oh yeah, that's fine. And they come to work in shorts. They come to work in shorts, in t-shirt. I'm like, it's fine. Whichever way. So long you're just productive. If you like, come in your slumber way. It's not my business. Like, so long you're productive. Now, but they know that because we're a human resource company, if we're going customer facing, right? You need to see how they look, right? They look. I'm like, so you have clothes in your house, right? So and I deal with them like that. Now, so build that culture and that system that allows them to thrive, right? That allows them to enjoy. Now, the next thing that I said to business owner, which is like the backup, is always ensure you have a talent pool that is waiting. Because no matter how much you make them enjoy your space, 2 years is a lot of time for these people. In fact, breakup is the watchword for them. They are designed to break your heart. So before they break your heart, have a talent pool, right? Have constant talent pool where and once they have an interaction with you, or they have a relationship with you, or they have relationship with the organization, they fit into your organizational system. They would approach career growth and career their current exit. They approach it with a lot more empathy, right? They would speak to their colleagues and say, I want to leave, right? They probably will meet you as a business owner and say, I like to leave. And because of their own career growth, you cannot keep them. But there are talent that are that good outside too, right? So when you build a talent pool over time, as they are going to leave, they are the ones that are trying to now interview the next set of people that will take over from them. So that way you don't have so much of interruption in your businesses. I know, I have also experienced this heartbreak before. I know that we're always very emotional. We're losing our best hands. We're losing our best hands. But hey, that's what it is, right? The best of them would leave. So Google lose talent to Facebook. Facebook keep losing talent to Google, to Twitter. Talent will always move around. And that's also beauty for you to show that, these guys have learned a whole lot from this place. Yeah. But ensure that you build a system that allows for this growth and this expansion. In fact, So I work with the client that by the time one person left, right, they hired two people who were willing to take the sum, right, of what that person was earning. So the person was earning 50,000, right? Those guys were willing to take 25,000, and they were almost as good. So it means that double productivity, right, for the organization. Some cases might not be the case, right? But realities vary. So we also need to be open to talent exit. We need to be also open to talent mobility and understand that talent mobility is a given. People would move, people would switch, understand it, but first ensure that there's a talent pool. You probably want to leave your recruitment portal open. People leave their CVs, you review CVs. The guys that are leaving, and you know the way most of them resign these days, they have accepted offers somewhere else. They will just send you, dear sir, I cannot come again. Thank you. Right? And they moved. and transitioning seems very difficult. And you're wondering, like, damn, how do I do this? Transitioning is a lot difficult for you. But when you build a system, right, where they are able to have conversation with you, transition becomes a lot more easier. And it becomes a little more fluid, and you're able to turn around quality talent.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That was very awesome, and I've taken so much knowledge from what you've shared. And my follow-up question is to Precious, and it goes, a lot of businesses fail within the first 5 years. What advice do you have for founders who want to build long, thriving businesses?
Okay, thank you, Ewadola. I'll keep this short. Now, depending on the numbers you choose to believe, between 70 and 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Now, there's no magic formula that guarantees that your business will thrive and that it will be there for a long time. But founders can do a number of basic things to at least improve their chances of survival as a business. So Emeka had touched on 3 of the things that I'm going to say here. They might sound basic, which was why earlier I said a lack of the requisite education is a major issue. So if I say one of the things they should do is have a business plan, you might say, how can you run a business and you don't have a business plan? But it will shock you to realize that a number of people are out there, no business plan. They haven't done thorough market research. So what you should do to improve your chances of survival as an SME, as a small business, conduct thorough market research, create a good business plan, and then Emeka spoke about funding. Seek adequate funding and start within your means. For certain types of businesses, you don't need beyond a certain amount of money. Seek adequate funding for the business at the level at which it is. And then as you grow, you then seek funding that meets your growing needs. There's no point holding more cash than you need per time. There's no point having more funds than you need per time. Get a business mentor. The idea is you skip some of the pitfalls that are along your path because you're learning from someone who has walked the road that you're just beginning to walk on. Get a business mentor, learn how to market effectively. A lot of people are doing great things, but nobody knows. Track your cash flow. Emeka talked about that. Track your cash flow. You need to be able to know what's coming in and what's going out. You need to be able to put everything in black and white. Learn how to manage and inspire the people under you. And this is the last thing I'll say, even though they're a bit more. Focus on customer experience and satisfaction, because at the end of the day, you're in business for them. Yes, they make you money, but you're there to provide a service. Yes. This doesn't guarantee that you would build a business that outlives you, but it improves your chances greatly.
Yes, thank you. That was very helpful. And my next question is around government collaborations. what sort of collaborations can SMEs expect from the government to boost their businesses? And I'd like Ayomide to please help us understand.
I really love that question because everyone on this call has actually touched on some of my answers that I'm thinking of. And when you say what sort of collaborations can SMEs expect from the government to boost their businesses, I'll use an example as LSTF. LSTF, like I mentioned, Lagos State Employment Fund was created by law. So that's by it's the government that created it. And what we were created for was to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Now, when I think of that question, I've heard so many startups, SMEs, MEs saying we just need an enabling environment, On this call, I've heard that people need access to finance. So LSTF has three major pillars that create an enabling environment for SMEs to thrive. And of course, that's collaboration with the government. So now if you went directly to the bank to go and get access to finance, the percentage or the interest rate that you get can stifle the business. And this is like businesses that don't even understand what they need. Everybody wants access to finance. You're a startup, you just have an idea, you're already funded, you're already selling equity. But LSTF, for instance, I mentioned before, provide access to finance at 1-digit interest rate per annum. That's not even for more. So that's already giving the issue of finance. We spoke to education. We have a pillar called employability, which is upskilling. So it's like, we see the disparity between what you studied in school and what the demand is out there. And then you also see that some SMEs, you lack the skill. So what can you do? Okay, I'm a mechanic, but I don't have any certification. We have programs that will teach you and certify you that you're able to do this. So you learn how to do it properly. And you've got, like, if you were going to get a plumber and the plumber had a certificate and you had enough money to have a certificate, of course you're going to take the one that has a certificate. So the government is actually collaborating by using tools, or should I say MDAs like LSTF, to provide these initiatives for people, like generate. I would say provide access to business mentors, like I think Precious just mentioned that. So if I stick to my table, we have an idea hall that you've got an idea, and you know that, or you have a business and you know that I can use technology to scale up, or I can use technology to enhance my business, to increase my revenue. How can I do that? I don't know how to do it. We pair you up with a business mentor that has been there and done that in the same industry that you're in. So you don't have the same pitfalls that they might have. You will learn from them, from the by the virtue of networking. You learn from their mistakes as well. I think government can simplify the tax laws. So if you have a one-stop shop, like there was like in 2013, Ernst & Young G20, and there was something I took away from that, where it said countries that offer favorable tax rates, simplify procedures, and provide entrepreneurship support will enjoy high numbers of startups. So if I'm giving you favorable tax rebates, if the government is giving you tax rebates, of course, it's going to it removes pressure from you. Tolu mentioned the workspace voucher program. Now we have a workspace voucher program for businesses that don't have access to infrastructure. So when I say infrastructure, you don't have office space, you don't have access to the internet, but you've got an idea, it's a business that can actually work. If you apply to us, this is the grants. So by virtue of even applying to us, you have access to, like you said, the Gen X, the Gen Z that want to work anywhere, wherever, show up whenever. So if they're working on a project as a team, we have we've collaborated with, or should I say partnered with 49 co-working spaces across Lagos. If you place yourself properly, going back to the first question you asked, if you line up your docs, you're in good standing, and you apply for things like this, is available to you. So again, that's collaboration with the government. Cannot answer all your questions. We can just give you a foundation to build on. So those are things that I think that we can encourage, like destigmatize failure. Like I mentioned that I think even the percentage is higher. Like you have 33% of businesses failing their first year from when they start. But if Edison did not fail 999 times, you will not have the light bulb. So destigmatize that you can fail, but get up and try again. We're here to support you to make sure that you thrive. Encourage collaboration with not just the government, with your peers. Collaboration is like the new oil. And so I feel like, so that I don't take too much time, so somebody else will have another opportunity to speak. These are things that the government have available for you or for businesses to succeed.
Thank you for that. That really did help us. But I have a question, a follow-up question for Ms. Emeka. How do you think businesses can access credit to grow their businesses? What opportunities are there in the lending space that they can maximize to ensure they have funds that are needed to scale? Well, I think he dropped off. I'll ask my next question to Isaac. Isaac, are you here on the call with us? I would like to know, what are the top digital trends to take note of in 2020 as a business? What do you think businesses should take note of as trends that they should plug into right now?
So these are my favorites. They may not be top, but these are my favorite trends that I feel like businesses should be plugged into. So for me, the number one is the metaverse, especially because I'm in marketing, and I feel like there's a lot of space and a lot of grounds to explore here, especially with just understanding human psychology and how we interact and how we can then use this to improve whatever marketing strategies we want to explore for brands or for products and services. And when I say metaverse, not exactly, I think Facebook is called Meta. So metaverse, not Facebook, like the entire metaverse, exploring virtual reality, 3Ds. So for example, ensuring that, especially in line with digital transformation, that the world is actually a global village. So you can be in Nigeria and be exploring somewhere in Dubai using virtual reality, AI, AR, VR, and just basically exploring options like that. You can be in Abuja and you want to see a property in Lagos that you want to buy. You don't have to hop on the plane. You can actually explore the areas around that property, visit the property from your house because you're wearing a 3D, the 3D glasses. So Metaverse, for what it brings to marketing and for brands and how we can explore that area, especially because the world is going global and we're exploring digital transformation. I like it for health. I like the metaverse for health and how you can visit a doctor and have like one-on-one conversations with a therapist in New York, but you're in Nigeria. And I like all of the possibilities that come along with that. Another one is the NFT. I'm still trying to understand and figure out how people are selling digital arts and making so much money. But I think that in line with digital marketing and marketing trends, those are things to explore on how you can make more money. Cryptocurrency is one of them. Cryptocurrency, the blockchain, Web3. Everybody's talking about Web3 now. Nobody shuts up about Web3 right now. Everybody, Web3 for everything. So those are top digital trends that I think that, especially with regards to marketing and with regards to digital transformation, how we can take advantage of that, how we can explore NFTs for marketing, how you can create like a unique graphic design that is an ad and nobody else can duplicate it. Those are things that I am studying on now and looking at. Cryptocurrency, because again, like I said, the world is a global village. Naira is not accepted everywhere. Even the US dollar is not accepted everywhere in the world. So if we have like a single currency, which is a cryptocurrency that is accepted regardless of where you are, whether you are in the metaverse or you're an actual person, or you're in, wherever it is that you are, and just so I don't think it's a new digital trend, but how marketers and how we can use that to explore with regards to digital transformation. I think that's one of the things that I think we should take advantage of, or businesses or SMEs should take advantage of. Those are, for me, top digital trends that I think that we can take advantage of.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And I have something else I want to share with everyone in here. Sorry, hold on. Sorry for the background noise. I have something else I want to share based on what Isaiah said. Google is your friend. She has mentioned a lot of words that might seem weird, you don't know about it. Please note them down. After this session, go to Google. What are NFTs? What is Metaverse? How can you plug in? How can you, right now, where we are now and where we'll be in 2027 or 2030 would be massively technologically driven. So for you to plug in, I'm asking, Google, read up. And then if you have a question that hasn't been asked in your mind that you want to know more about, we have the chat right here. Send in your questions. We have the awesome panelists that are willing to take as many questions as you may have, just to ensure that you're prepped for success, you know what it is to do, and you're able to leave this webinar with the knowledge, the know-how, the next action points you need to take to prep your SME or yourself for success. My next question goes to Emeka, and it is, how can businesses access credit to grow their businesses? What are the opportunities in the lending space that people can maximize? Emeka, that's for you. Do you want me to repeat the question? Or can you hear me? I can open that up to anyone who would love to share on that. How do you think, oh yes, he's here. You're muted, please.
Sorry, apologies for that. Okay, so thank you for that question. I think I made mention of a few. So how you can access credit. Just for the sake of this meeting, I'll just mention a few. Like I think Precious mentioned earlier, and Precious, your points were apt. So thank you for that. To access credit, you need to also be attractive to the financial institutions or the lenders who give this credit. And what are the key things you need to do? He made mention, buttress my point when I say you need to have a business plan. A business plan to be able to access that credit, right? Then you also need to understand what type of budgets, what type of funding that you need, right? And they will also be looking at your records, you know, so the records that you keep and the business plan that you have and the financial projection that you hope to achieve if you have access to this financing. So like he mentioned also, I have had the opportunity of sitting down with a lot of businesses. Somebody comes in and asks me a lot of money. And after going through the discussions, you cannot even place hand on what the money is needed for. And by so doing, I've had to advise some of these businesses. And you find out that they actually really don't need money. All they just need is to restructure the business and reposition the business and be able to project and sell more. So you turn around and start offering financial advisory to them. You understand? So some also do not even understand the type of funding that they need. You have to go down the ladder and start. And I can tell you here for free, I'm talking about big boys who control, who have, when you look at their cash flow, you will marvel. And you find out that these business owners don't understand simple rudiments of business ethics. So if you put these things in place, you'll be able to access finance. And there are so many opportunities out there, investment opportunities, saving opportunities, different diverse product offerings to corporate SMEs, micro lending businesses. I think if they be able to put their records in place, their records in terms of financials, like for instance now, so many companies now do not, are going fintech. So they look at financial records really, and they leverage on your financial statements. For instance, if you're asking me for 50 million now, I'm not going to be going to your sales record and the likes of them. I want to see what your transaction is in a year, your turnover in a month, your average in a month, and what is your expense and the likes of them. So records that are visible will make positioned businesses to be able to access finance easily. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that on how people, I hope people are taking notes on how it is you can access credit. All right, Next on, I have a final question for Iriayo. What advice do you have for SMEs operating in a large but complex market like Lagos? What do you think they should be doing, or how it is do you think they can navigate this Lagos as a whole?
I'll say first understand understand the law of the land, understand what's required in the different entities do different things. So like be invited, like I always say, be invited standing on the law of the land. So if you're in tech, what are the requirements for me to have legally as a business in tech in Lagos State or in Nigeria, or speaking to Lagos State? I think a lot of people also want to be a jack of all trades. I think first of all, focus on your core strengths. When you focus on your core strengths rather than being a jack of all trades, start small. Emeka just spoke to it, like you might ask for 50 million, but your company cannot actually afford the 50 million, so you're going to put yourself in debt. You're already killing yourself before you start. So things like, start small and grow steadily and sustainably. I think someone mentioned that before, where you're doing things, but is it sustainable when you're doing your business? If you thrive in Lagos, if you want, you can run a business in Lagos. You can run a business anywhere. Make sure your house is in order. Hire the right people. I think Tolu mentioned it. Also have a pool of people, because you have a lot of heartbreakers around you. You don't want a case whereby you got a technical officer that is doing the best, and you're relying on this person, and next thing he leaves. If he leaves, where's the continuity? Someone spoke about having generational, passing businesses on generation. These are things that your mind you need to be thinking of this. It has to be part of your business plan. And sometimes you say business plan is practice people, but at least have, put things in order, write things down, like, how is this going to work? What am I trying to do? Be willing to innovate. If there's anything that's constant for us, and like I keep repeating, COVID-19 showed us, lockdown showed us, is that the only constant we have is change. So if you're not willing to change, you'll be stuck in the ages. Like I think someone just mentioned about NFTs, and you even mentioned like the things are being thrown and you might not understand. But I also mentioned the last time I spoke, where Google is your friend. Knowledge is available to you. There's no excuse to not know. People are around that you can ask. Like I can be on this call and I know Tolu Shay has spoken about something, and I'm going to be reaching out saying that, okay, I need to understand this a little bit better. You don't ever think that you know it all. Always ask questions, and you're like, I emphasize business acumen. You want to understand things. If you don't understand, if you have no financial background, you want to do a business, you need to go and seek that information to make sure you educate yourself. Ignorance is not an excuse. When we speak about hiring the right people, also have the right culture for the type of thing you're doing. So you might be creating something that's fintech, and you're trying to use the conventional bank culture. It might not work. I need to be flexible. Like I guess flexible and innovative is like they go hand in hand. And then create communities for yourself, so that if you're lacking in anything, so when you're weak, somebody is strong. If you don't do that, get yourself business mentors, seek them out. And when you're seeking business mentors, a lot of people come and say, I want to be mentored, but actually they want to be spoon-fed. You have to, as if I'm investing in any business, I'm investing in the person that's running, that's a forerunner for the business. So you need to make yourself, like you say, attractive, to make sure that people want to support you, to make sure that you succeed. But going back to the question, you say, what do you advise people in a complex market like Lagos? Is if you don't understand the rules of the land, you're already going to fail. You failed before you even started. So make sure you're knowledgeable on the policies, how things operate. Like you said, I think we mentioned about policies where if you know they're banning Okadas, it's not the right time to go and be starting a business with Okadas, because it's going to be short-lived. So you need to be like a sponge for knowledge in the subject area or the business area in which you're trying to thrive. Thank you.
Yes, please. I'd like to re-echo it. Ignorance is not an excuse. You have a wealth of knowledge in Google, you have people around you, and you have these awesome speakers here today. So I'm asking, if you have questions you think we haven't touched on and you want to get on probably insights on it, please, the chat is right there. Send it in. You have access to these individuals now. I'm asking that you maximize it. And with that, we're going to have each of the speakers and panelists give us a 1 minute wrap up and action point that they want everyone here today to go back home and implement. So I'll start off with Precious. What's that one thing you want everyone to take home after today's session? I think Precious is frozen. So Luke, please, would you?
Sorry. I actually did not hear you call my name. Okay. Because you were frozen at that point, so I was wondering who you called on first. Action points. Take home. I concluded the last thing I was saying by pointing out that founders should focus on customer experience and satisfaction, because at the end of the day, though customers make us money, which is cool, we actually set up these businesses to render services that they require. Action points. We've been talking about change, talking about leveraging tech. Isaac spoke about it. I would say that if you started with the basics of getting feelers from your customers, trying to figure out what need they have that you can meet, it stands to reason that for you to continue to satisfy them, you constantly know what their needs are. So I would say, if you're running a business here, continue to listen to your customers. Someone spoke about feedback here. That was Tonu Olani. He spoke about feedback. Continue to listen to your customers, identify their needs, because their needs can change with time. Identify their changing needs, and then, as Isaac has aptly pointed out, leverage technology. Let me rephrase that. Leverage ever-evolving technology to meet the continuously changing needs of your customers. I'll end with this. A couple of months ago, September, October, thereabout, a colleague of mine sent me an article that was authored by AI, artificial intelligence. An article that was written and published by an AI. So that just gives you an idea of the direction we are going in tech. So tech is evolving. Whatever the need is, there's either already tech to handle it, or it is being made. So take home, listen to your customers, their needs are evolving, and whatever the needs are, there's tech somewhere that can be leveraged to meet those needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Don't say AI took your business from you. Evolve, evolve, evolve. Learn, keep changing. Please, that's what we're here for. You've gotten that tip. My next is Toluwa. What would you want people to go home here with? What's the action point you want them to implement going forward? And Toluwa, share.
Well, I don't do AI authoring contents. Jesus. Okay. How will people now come to me to say hire for us when AI can already write content? It's okay. Oh yeah. So that being said, on the lighting note, one thing I like to put in the mind of everybody is that, see, the future of work, the new era of work, the new work culture is not in the style of work, but in the frame of mind that we wear. It's not in how we all go out to work, but it's in the frame of mind that we wear. So for those who are adopting hybrid, right? As you're saying, oh, we're doing hybrid, we're having a few days in the office, a few days outside the office, you need to be able to say, you need to be able to communicate the why and why again to your team member. Now, as you grow as a business, the biggest asset you have are the human capital you have in your organization, right? That's like the biggest asset you have, because you can't do it alone, right? So we've seen men that say, oh, yes, sir, If you can do it alone, do it by yourself. I'm not coming again, right? So, yes, I also believe that employees have a lot of power. Like they have a lot of power. Yeah. So, as we whatever model of work we want to adopt in the days ahead, we must be very, very intentional about communicating the why to our team. And that's what keeps them together for a longer period of time. So take, for example, you have said, oh, we want to do full remote, right? You must be able to communicate, oh, while we're doing full remote. In fact, some people don't like full remote. People who live in places where I grew up from in Ajegunle don't like full remotes because you cannot do full remotes in Ajegunle. As you are on a call talking to someone in the UK, you're hearing, hey, how far now you demand? They start breaking bottles and I say, oh, sorry about the background noise. It is right. So you must be able to communicate the why. Right now, your team would now come back to you and say, oh, I mean, I probably wouldn't enjoy this why or enjoy this remote work. Let's not just assume that everybody enjoy remote work because it's the future of work, right? Particularly in this climate where we've not fully adopted it, we was very open. So I have also seen colleagues that have criticized people for having their interviews in a shabby room. Right. So I had an interview with someone one day, and on his wardrobe was hung his trousers, the belt, and a couple of other things at the back. And I'm like, okay, right. So in all honesty, he probably doesn't have any other place to have that call, right? And that's the honest truth. So as we want to adopt most of these things, oh yeah, like it's fancy, it's interesting to say, oh, remote work, but let's be sure to communicate the why to the team that we work with, so they're able to carry on the activities of the company with a particular mindset, understanding that they are part of the business, right? Ensure that you communicate why what is done. Yes, you are the alpha and the omega of the business, but also know that, hey, you cannot do it alone. So you must do a lot of communicating all that is required to your team, just so that, they feel part of the business. And in all honesty, Gen Z, particularly, they want to feel ownership, right? And that's why you see that a lot of businesses where you give your employees certain stake equity and say, oh, if you stay so number of years, sometimes they stay a lot longer because they want to feel ownership. They want to feel like I'm part of this thing. I am just here, right? So let's also communicate the why, build a solid system, find like the best way to carry all of your team, make them understand. Don't just make them work for you. Make them understand why they are working. Like I said to employee, working with me, you're working for yourself because you're working as you Nigeria Limited, right? So if your name is Johnson, you're working as Johnson Nigeria Limited in partnership with Wording HCD, because you would build your talent here and someday you will take the Johnson Nigeria Limited to another company to partner with them. So you're building talent, you're building your knowledge and your everything here. As you then build that, let's make them understand. So this is key to talent retention. This is key to talent motivation, and this is key to productivity in the organization, which I stand for every time. Every day at time, I always want to see people perform better at their work. I think when we do that, doing that makes all of us a lot more productive. More money in the bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for those nuggets. I'm sure a lot of people have noted that down and would implement it in their various businesses. Now I'm going on to Area Yomide. What are your closing remarks for us today? What do you want us to go back and implement as well?
Businesses should be aware that collaborating with government is imperative. It's critical for the success of the business, because you want to have a stake in what's going on in the government, and they need to policies that govern where the business is doing where people are. I would also say that make sure you have business aspects, make sure you understand business, and lastly, be open to collaboration with it, and be good standing in terms of the government relations for the terrain in which you're working. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now I'm on to Mr. Emeka. What are your closing remarks to us today?
Thank you. I've enjoyed my time today, really. On a lighter note, I want to say to Tolu, I do not understand the part of Ajegule that you claim that you grew up. That's your diction. I'm telling you, I don't understand that part of Ajegule. You look like a body long guy. Anyway, thank you so much. So what I'm about to say, I'm going to say with a lot of passion, right? And this is what I'm passionate about. So if you are in business and you hear me here clearly, whatever that you need to do to grow your business, you must sacrifice for. You don't need to be stingy that you have to make all the income to yourself. Sometimes you might have to wait to enjoy all that income. You might need to set up some a portion of your income to get the best quality service to improve your business, meaning that you need to sacrifice for growth. If you need to partner, if you don't have money to hire an accountant to look at your books or your records, you might just necessarily need to partner with someone who will give you those financial help for you to be marketable to the financial institutions to grow. You don't need to do everything yourself. So you need to sacrifice some, maybe a little few, I don't know what I want to call it, change or finance to part away with for people who have this quality knowledge to help you to grow your business. Now, so that you need to sacrifice for. So you can get improved help, improved knowledge. You also need to understand the kind, don't just, I'm sorry, maybe I do not want to demarket anyone. Understand the kind of funding that you need or the kind of support that you need. There's a difference between debt and equity. Equity is selling a portion of your business, while debt is involves borrowing and you must pay back with interest. That is natural. So don't go with the idea that when you start up a business, the best thing to do is to put burden on top of your business. You know, so if you position yourself like that, now we are running credit checks to check people's character. And when you talk about the canons of credit, the character is the most important. So everybody can see that the first time you approach any financial institution, they collect your details and run a check on you. Very soon, the way technology is going in this country or in this side of the world, yes, we know we have not caught up with the Western world. If you have a bad credit, you will not even be able to access credit in any financial institution. And that's bad for your business if you have that character. If you don't make profit for yourself, please honor your repayments so you do not get a low credit rating. You don't impair your credit score so that you might just need that financing aid at any particular point in time of your business. Investors will also want to check your credibility. Let's run your business with some level of integrity where people on this platform, right, or anybody you meet in your cloud or connect can recommend you for whatever job that you need. If you do not have integrity, I'm sorry, I will never be your close friend, because my recommendation, everybody's seeing my face on this platform. Maybe somebody needs me to recommend something and I recommend you, and you want to put my name or my brand name in some form of discredit, I will stay away from you as fast as I can be. So these key things is your business. Again, lastly, what I want to say is that you need to also be able to separate your business from you. Your business is a separate entity from you, especially for us who have a limited liability, who run a limited liability company. Once your business is a partnership business, is a limited liability company, it tells you that there's some level of organization already. There's a board, even if it's you that is the alpha and omega, but you have given out 10%, as little as 10% or 5%, to someone else who could either be your friend, your family, your wife, or your children. So if you do that, you need to be able to separate your personal finance. Don't mobble everything up. Don't mobble everything up, because you will never know if you're running your company or your business at a loss or at profit. And please spend from your profits. Don't depend into your capital unnecessarily. If you have to do that, you have to plan for it. Well, I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've not been able to confuse you, but I've been able to convince you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. You've helped us. Like you said, you ensure that you know what it is you're getting. Credit worthiness, all these, you're taking a loan from somewhere and thinking, don't worry, I don't need to pay it. On the long run, it would count. Stay to your terms, stay true to your business or financial or credit terms. If you're going to pay in a month, don't default. I know you might say, business is hard, but please listen to the advice that's been given and try to stay credit worthy. Thank you so much for this. And now we'll quickly watch a video from our sponsors, Netflix and Business Day. The team would play that out now for us before we move on to the next closeout stage.
Hi there, you may have heard of the Net Plus mini device. Well, this is not that. This is the Net Plus Pro and you're watching the unboxing video. Sit back and relax.
The Net Plus Pro is finally here, and it means business. It comes with a quad-core Cortex processor, a 5-inch display, and a 1280x720 pixel resolution. Battery power to last the whole day on a single charge. The physical on and off key and the volume control are on the left side, right here. You see, the Net Plus Pro is one of a very limited number of Android POS devices in the world with a 2-inch thermal printer. So, you can print out physical receipt for your customers. We know how important it is for many of us to have a paper receipt. Now, onto the card reader that allows for magnetic, smart, and contactless cards. You can now accept many kinds of payment with this, making transactions as seamless as possible. Other features you should know: it's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi enabled, it has a speaker, a microphone, and a headphone. It also allows for 4G coverage, and this may be the coolest feature yet, but it's got GPS too. That's it for now, but if you want to know more, then visit netplus.com.ng. You can place your order directly and get a device delivered in 24 hours.
Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that was engaging. Next one, we're going to move on to the closing remark by Wole Faro. So, Mr. Wole, we're ready for you. I guess he's not here. So with that, we come to an end of today's session. It was mind-boggling. I have so many notes I've taken down and I'm going to implement. If there's nothing you haven't taken away, the one thing I want to remind you is Google is your friend. Just in case you've forgotten all that they've shared here today, go back to Google and type in whatever question it is you might have. On the link as well, you have the article on the AI written post. Please go and read it. And there's a link that was posted by Mr. Precious. Go and read it, please. Google, use Google as much as you can. Leverage your circle, leverage the people within your circle, learn, ask questions, and then don't forget to connect with us, both on Instagram and Facebook, across all social media platforms. We have lots of sessions such as this. I'm sure you engaged and then you had so much learnings from today. We have more upcoming sessions that we want you to also be a part of. So please connect with us on Instagram, and I'm sure you would get as much knowledge from subsequent sessions as you did from today. So once more, say thank you to all our panelists. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for helping us understand how we can navigate digital transformation. With that, we come to an end. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you once more. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Oh, I thought we were going to take a panel picture.
Oh, really?
Ewa, we're not going to take a panelist picture. Let's bring up.
All right, everyone, please turn on your videos. I've done a screenshot right now.
I was supposed to say something from Business Day, but I guess Toyosi forgot to tell you. That's why I'm logged in.
Yeah, go on, Linda. Please be.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks to all our speakers. Thank you very much for making our time with us. For those who tuned in late, you can always log into YouTube to listen to this. And we always want to plead that you do subscribe to Business Day. So it's not going to be complete if you're not a reader. So please try and subscribe to Business Day so that you get our content and stories every day. We always love to hear from you. We do this every month. So we hope to see you again next month again. I'm just bringing you stuff that can help you grow your business. So for everyone, we also have a package for SMEs that want to advertise discounted rates. You can either contact me, linda@businessday.ng or saint@businessday.ng. You can send us an email, and we're just trying to see how we can help small businesses to advertise without breaking the bank, and then also how they can subscribe. So we hope to hear from you. Thank you, everyone. It's very short. Thank you.
Linda. Do you mind also just typing your email address in the chat, so people, not everybody might have caught that. So just type it in, and so everyone gets to have your email address. Thank you. So thank you very much, everyone. It was great having you here. Have a great day ahead.
Has the picture been taken?
Yes, I've taken a screenshot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.